Should you be there? That's your call. I will just ask that you, again, discover what you truly believe. Find out why you believe it. Find out what your place is in all of this. What is your mission? What is your duty? What is your honor? The things you're honored to do.
From day one, the goal had been to raise enough money to cover the expenses and award the Special Operations Warrior Foundation a sizable donation with remaining funds. An unforgiving economy made the goal difficult, and a last-minute demand from the Park Service for an additional $500,000 for even more security put the plan in jeopardy.
Got to a certain point on our fundraising and just felt that we can't turn the corner anymore, that we were about $600,000 shy of where I thought we needed to be. And I remember walking into Glenn's office and saying, things are going well, but we're still short. And Glenn said, Joe, if we're doing the things that God wants us to do, if we're doing the things that we think are right, then we can call on the powers of heaven. We can call down his help. And he said a prayer. And that was a turning point in the fundraising. We literally more than doubled the amount of money after that point in time.
There were a few moments then, it was like the weekend before, where I was like, this is going to be a disaster. This is not just a small disaster, but a disaster on a national scale. And then probably about Wednesday, prior to the event, things started slowly coming into place.
Despite the months of planning and dozens of meetings, as Team Beck entered the week before the event, the final program details were still being worked out in Glenn's head. And to make things even more interesting, just 4 weeks before 8/28, Glenn decided to add a second event to the weekend, a gathering at the Kennedy Center on 8/27, funded entirely by Glenn and his wife Tanya.
It went from, we're going to do this small little thing, to an event that probably was the biggest stage thing we ever did, in that we had, I think, about 70 performers on stage. And it came together in 30 days, but it really came together in the last week.
That was something that Tanya and I decided to do. Tonight, pastors, priests, rabbis, tonight and tomorrow is two things. Your wake-up call, a country calls you to service. And two, it is to give you backbone and spine, and to know that you are not alone. The people are begging for right and wrong. It was kind of to prepare ourselves and some members of the audience, but mainly I think there were about 1,900 preachers there. It was mainly to prepare them for what is coming and what they need to do. They need to see that you can talk about real principles. You can talk about things that happen in life without talking about politics. And you've got to start standing for something.
But the combination of two events, without a definitive plan in place for either, caused an already frazzled event staff, now holed up in a Washington, D.C. hotel, to panic.
It really was chaos from the moment we got to Washington.
How you doing, buddy? I'm good, man. I'll see you later on.
The crew reached out to company president Chris Balfe in New York for help.
I think it was on Monday night, the week before the rally, Chris had to come in and kind of broker for everybody, because everybody was going to him and saying, we don't get it. I'm so busy, I don't have time to download, every little detail. And so he came in with all the staff, and we sat in this round room, everybody around, and he said, okay, Glenn, nobody gets it. No, they don't understand the program at all. And I said, then let me take you through step by step. And everybody just started taking notes. And I laid out the entire program from start to finish. And that was the first time that he got it. He went, that's going to be good. That was the Monday before.
Well, first of all, when I knew the meeting started on, when the meeting that was going to explain the entire thing, I found out it was on the Monday before, I realized it was amazing, because that was really early for Glenn. Usually it's the day before. The fact that we had 5 full days of lead time to put the entire event together was fantastic. We had no speech put together for Glenn yet. We had, no real language, turned in from any of the speakers there. Most people would like to have more than a foundation one Monday before you're moving in. You'd like the house to be built, maybe have some plumbing, some electricity, maybe even have the cable turned on. I don't know, it's crazy. But with Glenn, you have the basic foundation, and then you put the pieces in the last minute. He likes that sort of the decorating of the house to kind of be a spontaneous event that you feel.
It's got to be a good experience for them.
I've never experienced a more hectic week in my life. Just running around, doing everything that needed to be done. It felt like everything that we had worked for the whole year leading up to 8/28, it was all resting on this one week.
People from all over America had already begun to stream into the nation's capital and were making their way to the Lincoln Memorial. By Thursday night, a long line of people had also formed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, all hoping to get one of the few remaining tickets to Friday's America's Divine Destiny event. At approximately 9 p.m., they got an unexpected visit from an unlikely pizza delivery boy.
Are you the first in line?
Yes, sir. Can you hug?
Yeah.
You say hi to my wife, Rebecca.
Yeah. Hi, Rebecca.
My sisters, who are from the West, and they don't, my family's not impressed by me. And they decided to come out 2 weeks ago, and they were like, so you're doing this thing in Washington or something? But they were standing watching, and they commented last night that it's just a different connection.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, grow up in Colorado.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And it's like we know each other. It's like we're friends or family. It's different. There's no hate there. No hate. It's real love.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
It's Friday, August 27th. It's about 2:30 in the morning. Just finishing packing a few things. Got my clothes, got my sunscreen, and got my 1611 King James Bible, and I'm ready for the 828 Restoring Honor Rally.
This is it right here. You're just going to throw your clothes in there, aren't you? Off.
That's what I always do. I always throw my clothes in wherever I go. Even the cat knows we're doing the right thing going to Washington, D.C., don't you think?
Let's put everything we need to take in the back.
Friday morning, 8:27. Planes, trains, automobiles, and hundreds of buses are en route to the nation's capital, bringing hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children, all answering the call to restore America.
I worked in Washington when I was 18, and I used to come here, and at the time they used to wash the monument down with power hoses in the morning. I got to know the guy pretty well, and I would sit right where we sat this morning, and then a few years later I met my 2 oldest girls' mom, and I proposed to her right there at sunset. So I wanted to bring the kids this morning, and it's like a day hasn't gone by since I was 18 sitting there.
We're a little more than 24 hours away. What are you feeling?
I don't know. Responsibility. Responsibility. That and the place and time. That so many things that people said couldn't happen, wouldn't happen, and haven't been done for so long, are about to happen. And I have the responsibility as an individual to get it right. Alveda King is joining me, and she said yesterday she hasn't felt this since the 60s, and she hasn't felt the hatred since the 60s.
Glenn Beck and his band of low information voters and Tea Party faithfuls.
Swastika signs, I think, at the rally aren't going to play well.
Thinks someone, and we assume, you said the Spirit, we're assuming it's the Almighty is there, is screaming at him. Is he okay?
There are so many people that are, who have just turned us into monsters, and I was reading all the papers from the 60s and what people said, and they're not much different. So I don't know what tomorrow brings, you know? So here we are in Washington, D.C., and I don't even know the date today. What is the date, Joe? 22nd. On August 28th, we're going to be here, and I'm just walking the reflecting pool. It is much larger than I remembered it. After it was too late to back out, I came here, and I stood at that place and then here, and both times I was overwhelmed with the thought of, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Would have never done it. Because you have to be that size. And that's the point on tomorrow is, people aren't that size. Nobody's that size. He wasn't that size.
How many times have you envisioned opening your eyes and looking out over several 100,000 people?
Not. Try not to. Try not to. I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, I'm a pretty emotional guy. And I just said to the guys, I don't think I should have any water now for the next 24 hours. I should dehydrate as much as I can.
You guys for prayer here? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is a sacred space. I thought of this last night. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, the Vietnam vets, the greatest generation, the Korean generation, and at the first flight of stairs, Martin Luther King. This is sacred space, and if people will just understand that, it'll be a remarkable day.